Sportszone. I missed you guys. It's your host, John Phillips, finally back, and I'm joined by Cooper Lyday and Jeremiah Richards as we talk about what's on everyone's minds right now. It's March Madness season, and we are getting to crunch time. But before we talk about the Final Four, I want to get into the games that have already happened, the Elite Eight. What teams have impressed you the most this tournament, you guys?
Well, the team that I was very high on when the tournament started was the St. John's Red Storm, Rick Pitino and his guys. I mean, these guys won the Big East. They beat UConn twice this year. They have Big East Player of the Year, Zuby Ejiofor. And these guys was really playing defense this tournament. I feel like they're really getting after it on the defensive end of the ball. I feel like they have one of the best defensives in the country with Dylan Mitchell guarding the ball, who I think is an NBA level defender. But I was really sad to see these guys not beat Duke this year. I was really pulling for them.
Yeah, Duke's been a real powerhouse this year, but I mean, did not continue into the Elite Eight. I mean, what did you guys think about that UConn-Duke game? We got to talk about that. That game winner. I mean,
it was an insane. It was just crazy. Caden Boozer should have holding on to the ball, just threw it up. You know, to 6 seconds left, what do you expect? Dan Hurley losing his mind. Yeah.
Man, and the shot, I mean, so deep, no hand up in the face. I mean, it's a classic March moment, really. But Cooper, what teams have really impressed you this March so far?
I mean, I got to kind of go off him, a defensive team. I got to go with Illinois. They're a number 3 seed, but they locked down Houston, home to 55 points. They locked down Iowa. I'm just impressed by Keaton Wagler, freshman guard, and then David Merkovich, because they've also been insane on the glass. They've been great.
That's fair. I got to mention a team that Illinois beat that you just mentioned, Iowa. I think they've been the most impressive for me compared to, pre-tournament expectations, because no one, they had some first round, like maybe first round, second round expectations, and then they get to the Sweet 16, Elite 8. I mean, Iowa was really impressive, and I think it's because of Bennett Sturts. He was an elite point guard. Are there any other players that have, led their teams deeper, impressed you a lot in March?
I would say there was really a lot this year. Just to name a few, I'll go Darius Acuff, Caden Boozer. I know it's a touchy topic right now.
He had a good game before the turnover.
Yeah. And he started the game off with 13 points, 4 for 4. But the guy I really want to highlight is Elliot Cadeau. This guy is passing the ball. I mean, he's 9th in the nation in assists, leading Michigan. He's shooting the ball with confidence. Obviously, he transferred from UNC, so when he was at UNC, teams were kind of daring him to shoot the ball a little bit.
It was bad. The three-pointer was real bad.
But he's been having a good tournament, and I think he'll be able to lead this Michigan team to hopefully a championship.
I mean, hopefully. I mean, let's talk about that Final Four. The teams left, UConn versus Illinois and Arizona versus Michigan. Which matchup excites you more? Which one do you guys want to talk about first?
I mean, I got to go with Michigan, Arizona. I feel like those are the best 2 teams in the tournament. I think this should be a national championship game. I think it's going to be crazy. A lot of offensive power, but also defensive. I think it's going to be a close, kind of maybe low-scoring game, potentially.
That's fair. How do you see the Arizona-Michigan matchup going?
I like the UConn-Illinois matchup, but this Arizona-Michigan matchup is the national championship, if you ask me. I mean, these 2 teams have been the best 2 teams all country. Arizona started off 23-0 this year. They were the best in the Big 12, and the Big 12 had a lot of tournament teams this year, like BYU,
Iowa State before they got the injury, yeah.
And then Michigan, obviously last year we saw the Florida Gators win it, and their formula for winning was defense. They had seven-footers on their team. They had Alex Condon, Thomas Hall, and I think this year it'll be the same formula. I feel like they have Yaxel Lindenberg, Mortez Johnson, stand-still playmaker, Ade Mara. As long as the backcourt plays great, I think these guys have a layup at the championship, honestly.
And like you said, Elliot Cadeau has been shooting a lot more confidently this year. So I think, if it is going to be a team with the same formula, I think Michigan is a big contender. But speaking of Arizona, they've been in the news a lot recently with their head coach, Tommy Lloyd. I don't know if you guys heard, but the media has been linking him to the UNC job that's open right now. And he said, Arizona will have a great coach after me. And they asked him about those comments, said, what do you mean by that? He said, I meant what I said. They'll have a great coach after me no matter what. I mean, do you guys think he's leaving for UNC, or do you think this is just kind of contract talk right now?
I feel like it depends on how this tournament plays out. I feel like if you win a championship, there's no way you can just go take over a new job.
I think it'd be crazy to lose a championship team. Even a Final Four team, I think is kind of crazy, but I'm not sure.
I've seen a lot of parallels to Roy Williams moving from Kansas to UNC back in the day, and he won multiple titles with UNC. I mean, if Tommy Lloyd did make the move to UNC, do you think he'd revitalize that program and get them back among the top of the programs?
I feel like he could. I mean, if he gets the talent in there, obviously we saw what he did this year with the young guards and Braden Berries and co-op, and they have senior leadership as well. But I feel like he could really go in there and get the program going back to where it once was.
That's fair. Do you agree?
Yeah, I definitely think he can revitalize it to UNC back to being that Final Four every year kind of team.
That's fair. And before we move on to the next matchup, I want to know final thoughts. Arizona versus Michigan. Who's winning? Who do you guys have? What is the game? Who's winning?
You know, John, my heart wants to say Michigan, but in my bracket, which I'll mention right now, we have a bracket going, and Jeremiah Richards is currently first. I just know so much
Sportszone,
ball.
there's a lot of ball in those, so it's big.
But give me the Arizona Wildcats, man. I love this team. Senior leadership, Jaden Bradley, Koa-P, Braden Berries, Krivas protecting the rim. This team is great.
That's fair, Cooper. I mean, do you agree? Do you think this is an Arizona win?
I think I think Arizona got this. They got resilience. They got on the boards. They got defense. They got offensive firepower. They have depth. In the recent game, they had 6 players score 14-plus points. I think that's the first time that's ever happened. I definitely got Arizona.
So Michigan, 30-point win in the Elite Eight. Nothing for you guys? Still not moving the needle?
I want to say it does, but like I said, they're at an advantage. Like I said, they have multiple big guys. They're starting 3. I believe Mara is 7'2", Mortez is 6'10", and I believe
He's at least 6'10",
like
yeah.
6'9", 6'10". So when you're guarding Yaxel, you're normally guarding him with a 3-man, which he's already at a disadvantage. You're already at a mismatch, but
even most teams' 5s against Mara is a disadvantage. He's 7'3" and 300 pounds, a big guy, so it's tough to match up for sure. And especially with the freshmen, Koa-P, how do you think that they're going to do in a Final Four, the biggest games of their careers versus a tough defense? Do you think Koa-P, Braden Burries, the freshmen are going to show out, or will they rely on the veteran leadership of the team?
I think they'll step up. They've kind of shown it, maybe not as good as Michigan teams, but at Arkansas, they put belt to Arkansas. They were able to come back at Purdue, have an amazing second half. I think they'll be just fine. They'll step up and hold their own.
Okay, both the panels saying Arizona for the first game. Let's move on to UConn versus Illinois. UConn coming off the game that we talked about earlier. Maybe Dan Hurley should have had a tech at the last second, but that's against the fun of the game. You got to get the game winner. So, it's a crazy path for both of them. Did you expect Illinois or UConn to be in the Final Four before the tournament?
I will say I believe all these Final Four teams are very deserving. I think the era of the Cinderella stories is pretty much dead, because these teams, I don't think you can make a case for any of these teams not being in the Final Four.
That's fair. Cooper?
Yeah, it's kind of surprising from the beginning, but they've proved their place to be there. They've all played great.
Absolutely. And with Illinois, you mentioned Keaton Wagler. That's kind of the big name, the freshman phenom. What has Keaton Wagler shown you this tournament that's impressed you so much?
I think he's definitely stepped up, put himself in definitely top 7 draft pick. He's definitely stepping up, providing that little offensive ball that they need. And then let alone adding up that defense wins championships. And then their rebounding, it's a great team right there.
That's fair. And speaking of defense and rebounding in this matchup, I think we have to talk about UConn's Terrace Reed Jr. He has had a dominant tournament on the boards and scoring the ball really better than he has all regular season. Did you expect that kind of run coming out of Terrace Reed, or is this UConn offense kind of just the hot hand? Is anyone going to go off?
I feel like they could be the hot hand, but Terrace Reed, he played at Michigan a while ago. It's really not a shocking performance, but anytime you're coaching against Dan Hurley, you're going to have to bring your A game. So I wouldn't be surprised if UConn went out there and beat the brakes off Illinois.
That official prediction, you think UConn's winning?
Give me the UConn Huskies, man.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's an upset, but I got Illinois.
Ooh, okay, a little bit different here.
It's not really a Cinderella story, but I got them. I got Illinois.
That's fair. So Illinois versus Arizona and UConn versus Arizona. Who's winning it all? Who's cutting down the nets at the end of March? Tell me.
Give me the Arizona Wildcats to win the national championship.
Cooper?
As I do believe Illinois has a sneaky chance, I have to go with Arizona.
That's fair. I'm going to be the difference maker and go Michigan. I think Michigan has the best chance at the title, but I think that Michigan-Arizona game is the true national championship game, like we all said.
Absolutely.
Sadly, that's all the time we have for this block. We'll be talking Women's March Madness next, so don't miss it.
Property Brothers have won!
Hola, Ardilleros! We're NTTV's longest-running Spanish entertainment show, and we're all about culture, creativity, and community in Spanish. Vámonos!
Welcome back to Late Night at North Texas. Late Night at North Texas. Late Night at North Texas.
Color the world with peace and joy.
Tell me, Diva, what's the tea?
My Nisha drag is dumb.
The spirits have guided you to me.
Welcome back. We just finished talking about one Final Four, but it's time for another Final Four as we are talking about Women's March Madness. Joining me, Mauricio Garcia, Jacob Garcia. Guys, I mean, this tournament there's been some exciting games, some Cinderellas, you know. What has stood out to you the most this tournament? What teams have impressed you?
Overall, what stood out to me is just the dominance in this tournament. In the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, only 2 games finished in single-point differentials, which is kind of crazy. I just feel like the number 1 seeds are showing why they're the number 1 seeds, and as they usually do in most years in this tournament, but especially this year.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a stat on Mean Green Mania, 41.5-point margin of victory for the 1 seeds this tournament. It's been very dominant. Mauricio, what have you seen in this tournament?
I mean, I've seen the impressiveness from Notre Dame so far in this tournament to be able to overcome Ohio State and Vandy to advance into the Elite 8 is impressive. All led by Hannah Hidalgo. She is like such an impressive player once you see her on the court. Dominated this whole tournament with Notre Dame as well. 26 points, 10 rebounds per game, and is averaging 10
steals
basically a game.
And it's a quadruple double every game.
It's just so crazy to see that, and especially in her last game against Vandy, carried them 31 points, almost 15 rebounds, and you think her last stat would be assist, 10 steals to secure a triple double over Vandy. That's the one I've seen is gonna be like, wow.
And in that game, she absolutely shut down Michaela Blakes. I mean, who was one of the best scorers in the country, and then Hannah Hidalgo shuts her down completely. I mean, I think she might have made her case as the best defensive player in the country this tournament.
Basically.
But there's been some crazy rumors I want to mention real quick with Hannah Hidalgo. There's a couple rumors that she's not liking Notre Dame and she wants to transfer. I mean, do you guys think that could happen? Is that something you could see? Do you think she's going to go to one of the big dogs, UCLA, LSU, South Carolina?
She definitely could. Like you said, she really, truly made a name for herself this tournament. If you don't know Hannah Hidalgo, you definitely do now. But, I mean, I don't know. You can stay in Notre Dame and keep being the top dog over there, excuse me. I mean, that doesn't sound like too bad of a deal for me, you know what I mean? And they're going to throw, the kitchen sink at her trying to keep her, so.
I mean, I hear the phone ringing right now. If I was UConn right now, I'd call the phone on her right now. She is going to be a top prospect in the WNBA draft next year. She is already a 2-time first-team All-American. I mean, she's a second team this year, but it's just an impressive, roster from this year. That's the one thing. And just having her on your team is going to be that difference maker from offensive abilities to defensive abilities, man.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think she's one of the best players in the country this year and will be next year. And I think that Notre Dame was really impressive. You know, Coach Niall Ivey, her first Elite 8, super impressive, you know. But I want to talk about Virginia. I mean, we have to. That's the biggest Cinderella story of the tournament. Double overtime win over Iowa. I mean, how impressive was that to you?
I mean, Virginia being able to go into double overtime against Iowa, that's so impressive to them, especially with the Cinderella run that they had so far. I mean, Jacob, what do you think about that?
I mean, it's yes, obviously, Cinderella run, but like I said, it's just, year by year, I feel like it's the same story in the women's bracket, and it's always that the top teams are going to dominate, whether that's South Carolina and UConn and all those teams. I just feel like it's the same case year by year. So when teams do get to break out a little bit and get some exposure, it is always nice to see. It's a breath of fresh air, but that doesn't last. You know what I mean? It's just
that's fair, yeah. And I think I think we have to talk about the 1 seeds. They all made the Final Four. They are the Final Four left, and I want to know, who's impressed you the most? Who has been the best 1 seed this tournament so far for you guys?
I mean, up and down, UConn has been hands-on the best roster, especially from their last game against Michigan. I mean, almost a 30-point lead that they had against Michigan. And Michigan isn't even that bad of a team. They have a few, one All-American on their team, I believe.
Silas Swords is a really good player, yeah.
I know, and it's just like 2 All-Americans on that front with Sarah Strong and then the Aussie. You cannot deny
Future
them.
Dallas wing, AZ Bud, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Reunite them with Paige Buchers, but we'll see. But, I mean, just up and down their roster is just so impressive, especially with their bench. I mean, contributed 32 points in that victory over Michigan. You can't take that away from them. They're such a dominant team, especially in that paint. And Michigan.
Gene Auriemma said, too, that, I mean, obviously he's coached some elite teams, but he said this is a team that he's one of the most proud of. Oh, yeah. I think just because I feel how tightly knit this team is. They play together, and you can just tell they're having fun. You know, they really enjoy playing with each other. I feel like in the past, Maya Moore, obviously, UConn has top personalities. However, I feel like this tournament, there really is not that strong, superstar player. They're just all playing together. They play fast, they play balanced, and that's why they're having the success they're having this season.
That's fair. I think it speaks to that AZ Fudd is maybe going number 1, and she's not even an elite on-ball player. She's more someone that can play within that system, and I think that's because UConn is so elite at playing that system.
Yes.
But I think a different number 1 seed has impressed me a little bit more this tournament. I think that's Texas. I think that the rest of the number 1 seeds were kind of seen at, South Carolina, UConn, UCLA with Lauren Betts. Those are kind of big dogs, but Texas has been a little bit new to the women's basketball powerhouse scene, and I think Madison Booker.
19.8 a game.
I hate to say it, she looks like KD out there wearing 35 in the burnt orange. I mean, you see some of the shots she's making, it's pretty crazy, and I think Texas has been really impressive for me. How have you guys felt about Texas this tournament?
I mean, watching that last game against Michigan has been just impressive. I think the one thing that did say to me this is a team that's gonna make it to the championship game was in the fourth quarter you had sorry if I mispronounce it, Oldacree. I know Oldacree, top of the arc, holding on the ball. Shot clock's going down for 20 seconds, and she's just holding on to the ball, tosses it back to her teammate, which just tosses it back up to her. Throws it up for a layup, and then just bodies 2 Michigan defenders, and I'm just they're going to the championship. There's no way they don't.
And in terms of how the number 1 seeds go, Texas has already beat UCLA, given the only loss of the season, and of course South Carolina in the SEC championship. So I definitely think that they're gonna beat UCLA again, go to the championship. Their size, their physicality, they're a tough team. They play a tough brand of basketball, and that's gonna be enough to get them past UCLA.
That's fair. Let's talk about the UCLA Texas game. I mean, UCLA, Lauren Betts, Charlize Leggett-Walker, they have a lot of star players, and Jacob, you seem pretty confident. Texas is winning this one. Mauricio, do you agree?
I mean, we can't die. Whoever's going to come out here is going to be in that championship, and I feel like Texas does have that kind of power and that star power, and that just aggressiveness in the paint and just being able to be offensive powerhouse that they are. Jacob, do you
physical.
think they can?
I think, I said already, I think Texas is just gonna. I don't think blow past, but
blow past. Let's give UCLA a little respect. 19 Q1 wins this year, guys. Lauren Betts, maybe the best player in the country.
I know, but Texas is just too big, too strong. How's the one say it? Too big, too strong. So I think Texas is going to beat UCLA and go to the championship. And on the other side, I think we've kind of already discussed.
Let's talk about the game a little bit. UConn, South Carolina. I know UConn very dominant this year, undefeated obviously. But South Carolina, I mean, Dawn Staley, you can't doubt her. She's arguably the best coach in all of basketball right now. Definitely. So I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on the game? Even though you might be UConn leading right now.
I mean, from UConn and then South Carolina, looking at both of those games, it didn't feel like South Carolina did kind of body TCU as they should, especially going into this Final Four with heavily stacked number 1 seeds. Because I mean, if you see UConn's tape, they dominated the opponent so tough. They are averaging 19.5 points in win margins so far this tournament, and just South Carolina, it didn't look like they were kind of figuring it out. They figured it out late in that last game, to have 24 points, to overcome the deficit in the half. But I mean, And
I feel like the second half, South Carolina always consistently has a deep team. And I feel like the bench really came alive. Everyone did their part, and that was enough to obviously give that surge in the second half. So, very impressive, obviously, to get to the Final Four and to set up these great powerhouse clashes that we're going to see. but I still got to go UConn. I still got to give me UConn. They're too fast-paced. They're too balanced. They play too well together. I think that they're going to get past South Carolina. And I think that's going to be the game of the tournament, that one.
Okay.
Maybe a little overtime.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think even if you look past the depth that they have, I think if you look at South Carolina, they don't really have the star that the rest of the teams do. I don't think they have a Lauren Betts, a Madison Booker, a Sarah Strong that can take over the game like that, you know? I think this is one of the weaker South Carolina teams we've seen in recent years.
But I mean, this is like Stanley's like kind of like momentum as well. Her ability to coach this team into what they are right now is like so impressive as well. You can't deny that. And especially if South Carolina does win this season, it'll cement Dawn Stanley's like kind of legacy at South Carolina. And it's just like, wow, that's the coach that you want on your team right now.
Absolutely. I wish we had her at UNT. I mean, think of it. But I mean, we got to talk about your finals. You both have the exact same one, UConn versus
Texas.
Yeah. I was thinking my pick, UCLA, you know, like who do these jokers pick, you know? But yeah, you both have Texas versus UConn. I mean, who do you guys see winning this matchup?
I put in Texas against UConn. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. You know, I hope that both teams prevail this in their upcoming matchup, so we can see that game. But I have UConn. Gene Ariano, also said that like thinking about the other teams just like makes him like he doesn't want to think about it. He doesn't want to think about the games. He just wants to take it slow. He mentioned each team individually, and like I said earlier, mentioning Texas' size. But I just think that they're going to use their agility and their quickness, and they're going to get past this Texas team. But it's not going to be an easy feat at all. That's going to be a game.
That's fair, Mauricio. Do you agree?
From going back from what Jacob said earlier, I mean, their physicality on the Texas side is just so prevalent. Like I was saying, like I mean, they're just gonna have to like be able to take those punches, you know. But if they're not able to, I feel like Texas could come out there and win this game, like you know, in an overtime win, hopefully. But I mean, like unless like Texas is able to like go in there physically, don't care about their opponents as much. Like I mean, that's how they gotta win the game. But like all in all, UConn has the abilities to be up and down, as I said, from their roster, from their bench. Like I mean, they're going to be able to find a way, especially around this like physical Texas team.
That's fair. I mean, I think it's going to be a really good game. That might be my game of the tournament, you know, like you said. But we'll have to see. I think that it's going to be a really exciting rest of the tournament. Sadly, that is all the time we have to talk about this. Next vlog, we will be talking about the WNBA. So join me after these commercial messages.
It's a jibber jabber. Yes, jibber jabber.
Jibber Jabber is a man-on-the-street NTTV show for Instagram that's in its 7th season. With 2 hosts, 1 comfy chair, and a Would You Do Something bowl.
Pretty much the gist of our show is that we're going to be inviting UNT students, all of our lovely family over, and we're going to be talking to them. And when we run out of things to say, we're going to ask them,
would you do something?
I think we're ready to do something.
Yeah.
Fortnite son or Minecraft daughter?
I warned them that this was dangerous, but did they listen? No!
I've been having these dreams.
Welcome in.
This is part of the process, Eric. I only want what is best for you.
You want me to go on and on with the program until there's nothing left of me.
We are one now. Our goals are the same.
No, they're not.
Evil lies here.
Go, 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 go!
Get that, get that! Be gone, evil spirit!
So, welcome back to Sportszone. I'm your host, John Phillips, and we are talking about the hottest sport in America right now, the WNBA. As their contract, the CBA has finally been agreed, and this offseason is in full effect. You know, we got the expansion draft coming up, the WNBA draft coming up, all of the offseason. It's an exciting time. What do you think about this time for the league with the CBA agreement and everything, guys?
I think that I'm just glad they got the deal done, but it was really looking scary there for a while.
8 days of negotiation in a row. I mean, damn.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was really worried. I didn't think they were going to get it done. I'm glad they agreed to a new minimum salary of $300,000 instead of the usual $70K. I think that's a great big pay raise. I think it's kind of time that these women get the money that they deserve.
That's fair. I completely agree, and I think a lot of people would. The women are generating so much revenue for the league that what they were getting paid before, it was laughable. But now that the CBA has agreed, we get into the juicy part of the offseason. The expansion draft is coming up. 2 new teams joining the league. We got the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo. I mean, how excited are you guys for expansion? Because this WNBA is still a small league. People don't really think about that much. There's so few teams compared to the NBA.
Yeah, to start, I'm surprised we got Toronto this early. Like obviously, with the NBA, the NHL, even the MLB, we have Toronto teams, so it was coming at some point. But I didn't think it would be one of the first 15. You know, I thought, like, we saw that the WNBA will be returning to Houston soon, so that's good. But a Houston team was definitely something I thought we would have back before we moved into Canada. But I'm definitely happy about it. I think that the expansion draft, and you have to think if you're the Valkyries, you're kind of like hitting the table right now, kind of mad. Like, I just made this team, and now I have to say goodbye to potentially half of it in the expansion draft.
And I think they could lose some scary players, but quickly we do have to talk about the Houston Comets, one of the original WNBA teams who was one of the early dynasties of the league with Tina Turner and everything. I mean, they're coming back, and they took the Connecticut Sun from Connecticut to do so in what some people are saying was shady business. I mean, what do you guys think about the move in general?
Honestly, I think we will miss the Connecticut Sun. We will thank you. We have thank you for your service. But I think it's time Houston Comets come home. I think the early dynasty. I think they won 4 championships like back to back, I believe. And I believe they're an incredible dynasty. I'm glad we're getting them back, another Texas team. Hopefully they can do well. And I hope they can do well and they can maintain the forward glory that they once had.
You're in the DFW rooting for a Houston team? Am I getting that right, guys? Am I getting that right? You're rooting for a Houston team?
My father is from Houston, so you know it's in the family. It's in the family, you know.
Sorry, yeah. I'm just so used to the people in the control room from Houston being bums, you know. So it's absolutely. I hate Houston so much, but I mean, the business dealings were definitely shady around it, Chris. You know, we saw that the Mohegan Sun and a Boston-led group both bid over $25 million more than Tillman Fertitta to get the team. I mean, how do you feel about the WNBA kind of stepping in and saying, we want you to go here?
I think at the end of the day, you have to. The WNBA throughout its history has had periods where it's really struggled. And right now we're in a period where people want to watch it. There's excitement around it. And you have to step back and look at yourself and ask, why are we in Connecticut instead of in a top market in the country? And I mean, these are the decisions that make a league successful or make a league fail. And Houston or Connecticut, it's a day and night easy decision, right? I mean,
that's fair when you phrase it like that.
Where they're going to succeed, and Houston is a lot easier to succeed in than in Connecticut.
Some would come with the counterpoint that in women's basketball, there's a specific prestige to Connecticut with UConn. Do you think that the college sport being there makes it where they should have a professional team, or do you think the opposite, where it's like they have the college team already?
Yeah, I think the total opposite. I think they have the college team that has a lot of prestige. I mean, they just won a championship last year. They're looking to go back to back in this Final Four. I mean, they have the men's team, they have the women's team. I think Connecticut. I mean, the population size, you can fit Connecticut inside Dallas. Honestly, the state of Connecticut. I believe
a couple of Connecticut's inside of Dallas, to be honest.
That's true. I was being generous for Connecticut's sake, honestly. But we
don't care about Connecticut on the show. Texas only.
But I think Houston's a much larger area, much more metropolitan space. I mean, you already have the Rockets there. You have so many teams. You have the Texans there. You have these teams there. I think Houston. I think it's time for them to come home.
I think that's fair, and even though we will miss Connecticut, like you said, I think it is time for Houston to get their team back. But it's time for 2 new teams, you know, Portland, Toronto, like we talked about. In the expansion draft this year, they lowered the number from 6 players protected for the Golden State Valkyries to 5 this year. Less players protected, and unrestricted free agents can be unprotected. I mean, any names you guys are keeping an eye on for the teams to select?
I mean, me and you were talking about it a little beforehand, but Enrique, I mean, the Dallas Wings, it's been a polarizing last few years for sure, and I think that it's time to enter a new era. I mean, obviously Paige isn't going anywhere. I mean, Seacrest, I would say, is probably a lock on this team also, but Enrique, I mean, you can only have so many ball-dominant guards that want to have the ball in their hands so often. And I mean, with the prospects on the board in front of you with the #1 overall pick, I think Arike is someone that we don't see protected in favor of some younger. I mean, younger is not the right word because Arike herself is 25, 26, around there.
Better fits, I guess you could say,
yeah,
sadly.
Exactly.
You know,
better schemes, better defensive players that fit better next to Paige.
Yeah, I mean, she's done a lot for Dallas, but like you said, in the past couple of years, especially with Paige, the fit's been a little bit rocky, and now that you're getting potentially AZ Fudd, I mean, I don't think she can fit with there. So a lot of the times in the expansion draft, you think about a team not, I don't want to lose any players, but sometimes you can leave a player unprotected for, strategic reasons. William, anyone stand out to you?
I mean, Arike is for sure. I mean, especially since she's I think an unrestricted free agent this year. I mean, either you're gonna have to pay her, especially if you draft AZ Fudd. I mean, you're gonna have to pay her anyway. So I mean, you gotta let her go. Unfortunately, I mean, things happen the way it hurts. We thank you for your service, Arike. But we're going separate ways. I mean, life happens.
That's fair. I mean, quick aside, do you guys think we should select AZ Fudd? Who's your number one pick for the Dallas Wings this WNBA draft?
You, Christian?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that we're talking about, like the past few years, we've had a player in each draft class that's like, oh my gosh, this could really be like a mascot of the sport. And I think that AZ Fudd is no different.
Okay.
And we got a competition here because I mean, the rebounding guard. I mean, a lot of teams will look at that and say that that's what they want. But I think if you're the Dallas Wings, it's a best player available type of situation.
And AZ Fudd is a great player. Reconnecting her with Paige Beckers, I mean, it's going to be a great thing. But, William, any other players in the expansion draft stand out to you that could be left available?
In the expansion draft, in the WNBA draft?
Yes.
Yes. I'm looking at AZ Fudd, of course. I mean, I have a player at UCLA. Her name's Lauren Betts. I mean, she's averaging 17, 9, and 3 right now with two blocks to her name. They're undefeated right now. They're in the Final Four. I think this team can use some defense, use some heavy play down low in the center position. I think we can definitely get Lauren Betts if we don't choose AZ. I think either one of those players could work out really well for our team.
That's fair, and I think that the young players are the key to the team, and I think that in Dallas we have a really bright future, I think. Do you guys agree?
Absolutely. I mean, the Dallas team, like you look, one thing that I think that we're missing is honestly veterans at this point. I think that now it's kind of seemed like we've pushed all of our
chips into the future.
Yeah, exactly. we're all in. We're all in on the team in front of us. I was looking for a way to say it, and then it's going to be a matter of which pieces fit together the best, and it just sucks that we can't get a big trade package for Arike. That's the one thing
that would be nice.
Yeah,
that would be
a sign and
nice.
trade or something. And if you're Portland and Toronto, I mean, this is a good year to have the sixth pick or the 7th pick. Yeah, depending on the coin flip. I love that they're literally flipping a coin for it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But this is a great draft class. Like William mentioned, you got players from like LaFlau Johnson, I think her name is, from South Carolina. She's a great player. You're looking at the 6th pick around there, and Sophie Cunningham, actually, funny to bring her up. She's a veteran. I think that with the young players like that are all in this expansion draft, she's someone that's not going to be protected. We already saw that. The Fever said that Sophie will not be protected. Sophie's a great veteran,
As
great
a
player.
GM, do you want that type of influence in your locker room? Sophie Cunningham, she's a controversial figure. She gets a lot of clicks in the media for the type of antics she does off the court.
I think that's why you do want Sophie Cunningham. The young players.
Especially as a new team.
Yes,
especially as
exactly.
a new team. You need to get the word out that you're building this new team, that your team is around. Hey, we're the Toronto Tempo. We need to get people buzzing for the team as much as they do for the Raptors. I mean, you gotta get attention. Not all press is good press, but most press, but this press is good press.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, also another thing is these players, some of these women are going to be professionals for the first time. I mean, there's a conversation to be had whether college is professional at this point, but like,
especially with NIL.
Imagine getting drafted for the first time and you're on a team that's also their first year as a professional team. I mean, that's something scary. Sophie Cunningham been on a few teams. She's been on Connecticut. They're not going to exist anymore. That's experience that you can't buy elsewhere, and I think the young players will appreciate that.
That's fair. I am super excited to see these expansion teams personally. I mean, I just love gaining new teams in any sport. It's super fun to see. There's been a lot of talk in the NBA about that, like we'll talk about next block, but with WNBA, that's sadly all the time we have. So we will be talking NBA expansion and everything else after this commercial.
Measles vaccines, coverage is
evening, and thank you for joining us on NTTV Nightly News. I'm Edison Stewart.
And I'm Alexandria Teeters.
Willis Library, located at the University of North Texas. It has computers, printers, and the building is open 24/7. By going online, you can book up to an hour of reserved space and one of the many private study rooms. Many of them are equipped with whiteboards, a table, and a TV to hook up to your computer. Textbooks can be checked out for free with a student ID. They also have many of these in ebook forms. This is still a library, so always remember to be quiet and respectful of other surroundings, especially in certain places where talking is not allowed. For example, the 3rd and 4th floor are completely quiet. As you can see, Willis Library has many options for students, with it offering many media sources and staying open all the time.
Hey guys, it's me once again, and we're talking basketball for the 4th block in a row. I'm joined by Dom Franks and Ian Cropper as we are talking the NBA. It's getting down to crunch time, guys. Single-digit games left. How are you feeling so far about the season for the Mavericks?
Well, the season's been a disaster, but honestly, after the Luka trade, I think we all expected that. We were doomed to failure the moment he was traded away, and without him, the team's construction was just fundamentally flawed. AD and Kyrie were dealing with major injuries. Without Luka, we didn't have that offensive production. The D'Angelo Russell sighting was a disaster.
You don't like deloading? Ice in the veins, deloading?
Unfortunately, I do not like deloading. And Flag, I think, got a heavier burden than intended. He did extremely well, all things considered, but he can only do so much as a 19-year-old who's just entering the league. The best thing you can say about this year is that we cut our losses, Nico's gone, AD has been banished to Washington, and we're setting up for the tank really nicely with a 3-13 record in March.
Yeah, March has been rough, and Cooper Flag has had some rough games, but overall, like Ian said, it's been a bright spot. I mean, Dom, how have you felt about Cooper Flag this year?
Cooper Flag, I think himself has been absolutely amazing. I mean, I don't think you can wish any more of a player that just got drafted in his rookie year and, you know, is carrying a team that is barely a team. As much as, you know, we live here, so I mean, I love the Mavericks, but it's just not great. They're, I think, currently projected for the 6th pick, and you know, a good spot to, you know, pick up a new guard, maybe someone like Darius Acuff Jr. for chance.
Especially in this draft. I mean, this is a stud-filled draft. Ian, are you excited for the draft for this Mavs team? You think they can fill some holes?
I am, and building around Flag is going to be important because he has been on a really good run. 20.4 points, 6.6 rebounds, 4.6 assists per game. Look at some of the other players who have put up stats like that in their rookie years. Kareem, Bird, Jordan, Luka, and Wemby, who I'm sure we'll talk about in just a moment.
Sadly, ruining the league.
But when you put up numbers like that as a rookie, let alone as a teenager, it's extremely rare not to develop into a perennial MVP frontrunner.
Completely agree, and I think we have to talk about the Rookie of the Year race. I mean, Cooper Flag, Con Knipple both have had some of the best years we've ever seen for rookies, if we're being honest. Who do you guys think has been the better rookie? Who would you give the award to?
I personally am going to give it to Flag. Again, Dallas native, so, you know, probably a slight bias. But Flag is doing amazing. He is averaging 20.3 points per game, 6.5 rebounds per game, 4.6 assists per game, and 1.2 steals per game. So, you know, that's an insane stat line for any player, let alone a rookie of the year candidate who is carrying his team and has no help at all.
Ian, how about you?
Now, I'm not a Dallas native, but I have lived there most of my life, so it really, really pains me to disagree, but I got to give it to Con. Like, Cooper Flag has been electric, but he's not leading his team into the playoffs like Con is, and he's taking the Charlotte Hornets from a 63-loss campaign to a pretty heavy favorite in the play-in tournament, and he has emerged as an electric piece of that offense. I do think that's worth rewarding, even if it's just for this season, and I do expect Flag to be better in the long term.
That's fair. I saw a stat today. It was rough for Flag. It said they ranked all 289 eligible players in the NBA in terms of effective field goal percentage. Number 1, Con Knipple. Number 259, Cooper Flag. So, I mean, the gap in efficiency and just what Kahn is doing for a Charlotte team that has really turned around this year, I think I also sadly have to go with Kahn.
Yeah, I think Kahn's in another. They're not in the same situations at all.
Oh, definitely not.
Flag has to do a carry job for a team that is ranked 13th in their conference. Meanwhile, Kahn gets to be on a Hornets team that's actually prospering, and he gets to be like the second or third option behind, LaMelo Ball, who's been one of the greatest young players that we've seen in the NBA in a long time.
He's had a really bounce-back year. A lot of questions for LaMelo Ball before this year with the injury, if he could lead a winning team, but I think a lot of the doubters have been shut down this year. And I think you mentioned them as a favorite for the play-in tournament. I think they might be shooting a little bit higher, but let's talk about the playoffs. Who are your favorites in each conference?
Now, for the East, I'm going with the Celtics. They've been consistently great all season, thanks to Jaylen Brown having the season of his life, and now they're just getting Jason Tatum back. They're now getting Jason Tatum back at the exact right moment. They're top 5 on both offense and defense. They have strong depth. And I think they match up well against the other Eastern Conference heavyweights. Detroit's been electric, but their issues with shooting will cost them against a team that defensively strong. New York doesn't have the depth, and Cleveland has been protecting the paint at the expense of not being as good against the threes, which I think Boston can capitalize on.
Dom, I'm going to let you finish. Ian, I'm going to let you finish. The Celtics are my favorite as well. Jaylen Brown is not the reason for that. Joe Mazzulla is the best coach in the league by a billion miles. Most coaches aren't impacting their teams winning or losing, to be honest, in the NBA. It's not that big of a deal. Joe Mazzulla's defensive scheme is the most impressive thing in the entire league. Jaylen Brown can't shoot the ball, can't score from any level. He's overrated as hell. Derek White is a better player than him and would be my best player on the Celtics. I think he's been better this year. But with Jason Tatum coming back, the defensive scheme they have, I got to go with the Celtics too in the East. Dom, who do you have in the East? Don't talk about what I said.
I absolutely do not have the Celtics. Sorry to ruin y'all too. I have the Detroit Pistons. Now, it's a very, written down on paper favorite. But, the Pistons are number 1 in their conference right now in the East. And they're 4 games back. And the only problem with the Pistons right now is that Cade Cunningham, obviously the star player, is out with a lung, I believe, what is it exactly called?
The lung injury of some kind.
Yeah, a collapsed lung. But he's supposed to be evaluated in about a week or so and likely to come back. So I think if he can stay at that great pace that he was at before the injury, I think he can still, be dominant and lead the Pistons. If they're already at a 4-game ahead, then what's stopping them from staying at that?
That's fair. I'm gonna throw a little hot take out in the air, see how you guys feel about this. Charlotte Hornets.
I think it's too early for that.
I don't know. Since January, that offense has been the best in the league, I think. I mean, their starting 5, LaMelo, Kahn, Brandon Miller, Bridges, and Moussa Diabate has been genuinely one of the best 5-man lineups in the entire league. I don't know. I think if it was a stronger East, maybe I'd agree with you, but
I think the East is a little bit too weak, and they're not strong enough of a team, per se, to actually, get far into that conversation. But I do think if they don't make heavy in the playoffs, I think they can be a play-in team.
Yeah, plus we have seen some pretty nice turnarounds these last few years. I still remember when Detroit was so bad, we were seeing Wingstop memes all over Twitter, and they've managed a quite nice turnaround. I don't think Charlotte is quite there yet, but I do see them being nice for a few years to come.
That's fair. And speaking about turnarounds, it's time to talk about the Western Conference, where the two, presumed favorites are two of the craziest turnarounds we've seen in recent history. Who you guys got? Wembanyama versus Shea, Spurs versus OKC. Who do you got?
I like how we're not even mentioning the Lakers, Rockets, or Nuggets, because we all know this
Nuggets
is
can get a little mention. Nuggets can get a little mention. I'll give Jokic a little mention, but you think I'm giving Luka a real playoff chance?
Yeah, we all know there's a 2-horse race. Now, the question between those two is who do we go with? I'm actually going with the Spurs. Now, it's not popular in the city, I know, but now, the Thunder are a great team. Shea's putting up MVP numbers again, leading arguably the best roster in basketball. There's just one significant problem. They've lost 4 of 5 against the Spurs. That team is built around maximizing Wemby's strengths, and he has arrived in full force this season. Now, you'd think that wouldn't work against a deep roster like the Thunder, but the results speak for themselves, so I'm taking the Spurs to win out in the West.
That makes me sad.
Yeah, sorry, John.
Dom, don't tell me. Not you too.
I have to go with the Spurs too. Again, I love my I love my Texas teams, but he's called an alien for a reason. He's not human. He is no way. He's just what do they list?
7'3", I think. 7'4".
7'3", yeah. He's not that. He's something insane. He's averaging 24.5 points per game, 11 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 3.5 blocks, and 1.2 steals. He has 1.2 steals as a center who is no way as tall as he says he is.
Can I start pushing like a steroid agenda? Can we just say he's doing steroids or something? Can I just say hate on him some way? Like, I just hate Wemby.
Yeah. We might as well move on to the MVP talk, because I think from this...
you two might have San Antonio, but there's a third person on this table, and I'm going OKC. I don't care about the regular season performances, and this is a genuine take. Let me lock in. I do have genuine concerns about San Antonio's playoff shooting. I think Wembanyama goes to the three-pointer a little bit more than I'd like. I think Stephon Caswell's been hot shooting the ball, but he's not a great three-point shooter. Dylan Harper, not a great three-point shooter. De'Aaron Fox, not a great three-point shooter. I think in a playoff environment where the court's strength, you have an OKC defense that's hounding you, I could see the shooting giving them a lot of problems versus OKC. In the future years, I'm terrified of Wembanyama. I think he's going to run the league for years and years. But this year, I think it's still our house for a little bit. But MVP, I think that is the big race. There's been a lot of media over it recently. Who you guys got?
I mean, we've been talking about it earlier. I gotta go Wemby. Look, the phrase I like to use, he looks like a man who was genetically engineered to be the best basketball player alive. And this is the year where, I mean, he was already insane the last few years. This year, he has arrived. And we got to mention those steals. He's averaging 3.1 per game. That's almost as much as some teams, and that's well ahead of the runner-up, who's Chet Holmgren with 1.8. And he's doing this all despite playing less than 30 minutes a night. He has been mental this year, and he's my favorite to win MVP. No disrespect to Shea, but Wemby's on another level.
I'm taking that as Shea disrespect, Dom.
Yeah. I mean, you've been hearing it since he came into the league as a rookie. He's never not been on a minute restriction. He's not allowed to play more than 30 minutes a game, and yet he still has MVP talks. That's just not something you hear before he came around. So it's not really fair to put him on the same idea as Shea, who is forced to play more than 30 minutes a game on a very good roster from OKC.
That's fair. And I think Wembanyama is a very valid MVP pick. I can't lie. I do go with Shea. And I think it's just because I think he's underrated offensively somehow. I know he's had the longest scoring streak of 20-plus point games, and he's done all this. He's the most efficient guard season over 30 points ever. But people act like he's on a super team. And defensively, yes, super team. Elite, elite, elite. The offense, his second best offensive player this year is Chet Holmgren or A.J. Mitchell. Love them both to death. They are not second options on a super team offensively. The load that Shea has to carry for this OKC team offensively, it's nuts. And the free throws are not as big a problem as they want you to see. Luka's getting MVP prop, but Shea's free throws are a problem. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Any other awards you guys want to talk about?
I mean, I just want to mention that I think we all know who Depoy is going to be. I was looking at the odds before this show. Wemby is minus 5,000 right now. Like, look at all the other awards. It's like minus 125, minus 250. Minus 5,000 is an insane proposition.
Yeah, I want to take a moment and say this Victor Wembanyama love is what Rudy Gobert should have gotten in his prime. I'm not joking. Rudy Gobert should have an MVP if Wembanyama wins this MVP. Rudy Gobert's defensive impact was so insane in Utah that if Wemby wins it off defensive impact alone, I think Rudy should have had a reactive one. But what? What, Dom? You disagree?
No.
You disagree, Dom?
Rudy Gobert deserves all the love he can. I do love defense, but and there is one other award I want to talk to you real quickly. Most improved. I believe it goes to Jalen Duran. Mostly just because, it helps the Pistons. He's the second option on a team that, wants to go to the playoffs. And I believe he just had a career night the other night. He had 12 rebounds and a career high of 36 points against the Wizards on the 17th.
The who?
I know.
Don't care.
Okay.
I think it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I think that's the true heart of the Most Improved Player Award. Jalen Duran, top pick, top prospect. Nickeil Alexander-Walker made it out the mud. But sadly, we don't even have time for the expansion block. We were just so into the NBA. Next block, we'll be talking about MLB opening up, first week. Get ready for me after these commercial breaks.
Don't get your hopes up.
Is that it?
That's it.
Nothing can stop me now!
Yeah.
What does Talents do?
So I am the Vice President of External Relations for Talents. That means that I basically oversee all the external committees. Our external committees entail our Model A, it's a Mean Green Machine. So they bring it to football games especially, so every game it's kind of there, every home game. The Model A is like a symbol of UNC pride, and it's a big tradition that we are still lucky to uphold and maintain. When people look at it, they see it, and they're like, oh, that's the Mean Green Machine. There must be a game today or something to ramp up school spirit for basketball, softball, volleyball, any of those things. We have amazing teams, so we just want to show school spirit for them. Bonfire Committee, which is in charge of putting together the bonfire every year for homecoming. It's kind of just a whole semester-long process up until Build Week that we have to put together and oversee and make sure safety regulations are followed and risk management is taken care of. Cannon Crew, which oversees and takes care of the cannon. They fire it at games, they take it to special occasions.
Welcome back to Sportszone. It is the final block of the day, and we're finally done with basketball. That last block was crazy, but now we are going into a sport that's just beginning its season. It's the MLB. I'm joined by Bowie Devlin and Miguel Flores. Guys, it's early on, but how have you felt about the Rangers so far?
Man, that first game was definitely questionable. Had you worried about, our hitters getting off to those hot starts, but kind of came back late, and then the last 4 games have been really solid. We've been hitting well, pitching well. Our bullpen's been nice, so I'm happy with them.
Bowie?
I just think the last 3 games have been really controlled. As like Miguel said, that first game was just kind of pitiful. It just looked like nothing was really clicking. And I feel like now that they're really finding themselves, besides the closers, I think the Rangers are looking very solid.
That's fair. And let's talk about the game today. 8-5 win over the Orioles. It was a great series against the Orioles. Who stood out to you guys for the Rangers in this series and just overall in the young season so far?
We were watching the game out there, and today Danny Jansen really lit it up. He went 3 for 4. He had 3 RBIs in this game, which was really solid. And then Seager had 2 RBIs in this game and that bomb earlier, but he's been killing it. Seager's definitely the guy to watch this year for the Rangers. Hopefully he can stay healthy and avoid that injury plague like he has been the last couple of years.
That's a big thing for Corey Seager. He's been very injured these past couple of years, but he has had a very hot start. Bowie, who's impressed you?
Seager. He's just that guy. Like when I think of just a great Texas Rangers player, I always think of Corey Seager because he's just that dude. He just knows how to just control and take lead for the team.
That's fair. Has anyone else stood out to you? Because Corey Seager, he's kind of the veteran. We kind of want him to lead by example. Is there anyone kind of a little more unexpected? You mentioned Danny Jansen. Anyone else?
Everyone's kind of been doing their jobs, which is really satisfying to see. Like we said, in that first game, obviously the bats didn't get started till late. And then throughout these last couple of games, we've been getting going early. We've been seeing solid production from guys like Brandon Nimmo and Wyatt Langford finally contributed a little bit. He's getting that average up. So it's good to see those guys, come in and do their part, and we just hope to see that more.
That's fair. How have you felt about the young players? We saw Jack Leiter make a pretty solid start. We've seen Wyatt Langford get his average up, like you said. How have you felt about the young pieces on this core, Bowie?
I feel like that it's working. They're clicking. The team is 3-1 right now, and it's partially and actually majority because of them, because they're making plays and just stepping up, being the next man up.
That's fair. Miguel, anyone stood out to you for these young core,
Jack Leiter, obviously, he tore it up. There's a lot of guys. Cole Winn has been kind of stepping up. Last year was really good. It was good to see him play again. He's a really solid piece that comes in and relieves. But there's an older guy that I want to talk about.
Takio-ish.
Andrew McCutchen, man.
Oh, dude.
I love Jock, but you got to go with the bat that's hot. Andrew McCutchen has been the guy. Keep him in. He's putting runs on the board. We need to go with Andrew McCutchen.
That's fair. Did you guys see what was going on when he got that bomb? What was going on in Dallas? The furry convention. It's McCutchen furries. What else are you expecting other than straight bombs? That's what his reputation is. But are there any issues for this team that you had, or things you expected coming into the season that worried you, or strengths that you have seen play out in these first couple games?
Worries were are we able to back up our great pitching? Last year we weren't able to do it, and that kind of got us in a hole a lot, especially in that late postseason push where we had the opportunity to do it, and we just were not able to continue and get those runs on the board. This year it hasn't been that big of an issue, but the one thing that fears me is our late reliever, especially Chris Martin. He almost blew the lead 2 games ago against the Phillies. Today he kind of gave 2 runs, and you're like, oh my gosh, man, this guy. But, I mean, that's really it. Hopefully we can stay consistent, though.
That's fair, and we have a first-year manager in Skip Schumacher. Do you have faith in him to, make decisions regarding that bullpen? How have you felt? Obviously, it's super early on for him in his career, 6 games, but how have you felt about his decision-making so far?
Well, I don't know about Bowie, but I think that it's been pretty solid. The only thing that I would change is maybe put in McCutcheon over Jock. I want to see Jock succeed, but right now, you're 0 for 6. You're not contributing. Do something, please. So.
That's fair. Bowie, how have you felt about Andrew McCutcheon? Or about Skip Schumacher, the manager?
I feel like it's working well. I mean, again, being 3-1, I feel like that really shows that everything is just kind of falling into place. Pieces are just rolling, and I feel like that is what, the Rangers need, especially coming this season, being that team that, one of the biggest what-ifs, and they're making it click so far, and I just like what I'm seeing.
That's fair, and I think we got to talk about the biggest storyline in all of baseball. It's the ABS challenges.
Yes.
I mean, the ABS challenges have been absurd. They've been a very good decision by the league, I think.
So.
How have you guys felt about them?
I love it. I don't know if you guys have know who CB Buckner is, but he's kind of a notorious umpire.
Talk about that.
The other day against the Red Sox, he missed 20. Red Sox Reds. He missed 20 calls and was challenged 6 times. He is awful. So I think this is a great thing for the players. We're really going to see how great their eyes are, especially their knowledge of the strike zone is awesome to see. But, I mean, I think it's great. I love it so far. There's a couple of challenges where you're like, come on, challenge that. But obviously, we don't have full control.
Bowie, how have you felt so far about the ABS?
I mean, as being from Houston, watching the Astros and seeing Mike Trout pat his head 3 times in one at-bat shows me that, someone like him being such a skilled player, I just think that that's good that they're noticing that and they're really stepping up to, call it out.
That's fair, and I think even outside of the players and the umpires, I think the fans have really taken to it really early. I feel like the crowd reactions for the ABS challenges have been electric. And
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and the umpires is the biggest thing, though. I mean, my dad called me today and said, when do you think they're getting rid of the umps with this? I mean, they've just been so bad, especially the older umps. They're getting exposed with these challenges.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, back in the day, obviously, you had to learn the umpire strike zone, but now, our hitters and our pitchers and our catchers, everyone is at an extreme advantage. I think that they've got it set up really nice. Maybe throw in another challenge and maybe more than 2 seconds to make the call, but I like it.
Yeah, I think it's been super successful. Do you guys think that we're going towards full robot umps? Do you think that we're going to get rid of, umps in general? Or do you think that this is kind of the perfect medium where it's a little bit robot, a little bit umpire?
I mean, in-person umps are literally pretty much the backbone of baseball. I feel like robotic, sure, it would be 100% accurate pretty much, but I feel like human umpires literally add some suspense to baseball. They change the emotions of the fans and the crowd. It just like a robot saying strike 1, strike 2. I just couldn't see that. They need to keep the people in the game.
I completely agree. I think it's underrated how important the vibes are for sports. People too often think about every call has to be right or every call has to be wrong. I think what it adds to the experience of the game is really understated. Miguel, how do you feel?
Yeah, I think you need to keep the umpires in. They're a big part of the game. It's still cool to kind of see how they have their own strike zone. They have their own vision and how they see the game. So to also, watch the players get to challenge, it adds drama, it adds suspense. It gives some people something other fun to watch. So I think keep the umpires. I like we got a good mix going right now.
That's fair, and I mean, it's crazy with ABS that we've seen every MLB player shrink 3 inches now. Every single player is listed shorter except for the ethical king, Shohei Ohtani. But I mean, who's impressed you around the league so far this season?
A guy that I'm happy to see doing pretty good so far and off the hard start is Mike Trout, man. That guy, love him with my full heart. Obviously, grew up watching him and that first series against the Astros, you're like, oh my gosh, he's back. And I'm hoping he's able to maintain it. The last 2 games, he's kind of fallen off, but, still early on in the season. But I want to see some more success from him.
I think he's still somehow one of the most underrated players of the generation, even though he's considered one of the best. I feel like the level that Mike Trout was out is not often appreciated because of the playoff success. So I'm super excited to see him start hot. What about you, Bowie?
Yeah, I mean, again, for me, like Miguel said, it's Mike Trout. I mean, he made the Astros pitching just look abysmal because the dude was just ripping it. He would just take 3 balls and then just crush one out, and it's it's just admirable as an Astros fan. It's just crazy to see him performing at such a high level this late, I guess, late in his career.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it's really nice.
That's fair. I'm going to mention one player real quick. I got to rag on my boy Miguel here. Before the season, I told him in fantasy baseball, I told him there's one name you got to draft in fantasy baseball, and that is Murakami on the White Sox. And what does he do? 3 homers, 3 games. That's my goat.
Murakami is great, but if you have the option to get Junior Caminero, a proven big leaguer, hit 42 home runs last year, and a guy who's kind of new to the game, you're going to go with Junior.
But even if you have the host approval,
I have the host approval. I'm happy with my Junior pick. We'll see if I regret it later.
Yeah, there's still a lot of season left. But what teams have really impressed you? Because we talked about Mike Trout, but what teams have gotten off to these hot starts for you guys?
The Nationals. I mean, open up 3-1. You know, the Cubs are a great team. I think they've built a solid roster, and to kind of see Nationals go in there and beat them up a little was interesting. And then also the Yankees are dominant, which I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of, but you know,
sad to see that one.
They're so good. It's so frustrating, but we'll see what happens when the playoffs come.
That's fair, Bowie. What about you? Who's impressed you on these teams so far?
It's got to be the Angels and the Cardinals again. Like, one of my best friends was from St. Louis, and he's finally like excited about a Cardinals year for the first year since like 2022 when they had that wild card series against the. Trying to remember. Do you remember? 2022.
No,
I think it was against I don't know. It was against someone pretty. It was the Phillies. They had a wild card series against the Phillies and they lost in 2. But I'm just happy to see that the Cardinals are doing good for my best friend's sake, and just for the league's sake, to see the Cardinals doing good as for a team that's like been under the radar for so long, and coming to the year we're like expected to like tank. I guess seeing them be 2-2 and should be 3-1. I just feel like that's admirable.
That's fair, and I think it's time to ask the question. It's a little early, but are the Rangers contenders this year? Are they pretenders? Are they tanking? What status do you have for the Rangers this year early on?
Our starters have looked good. Our bullpen has looked good. Our whole roster's kind of been hitting well. If we're able to maintain it, stay healthy, continue. I don't know what the approach is that Skip Schumacher set for the league, for our guys, but it's working right now. Keep with it. I think that we can be a contender. I think we'll make a push this year.
That's big words, Bowie. I mean, do you agree? Are you a contender in the cards this year for the Rangers?
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers are great. Got to give them props as an Astros fan yet again. Like, they just seem like such a team this year, and I'm really excited to see, Seager and all those guys really just kind of go at it. It's just admirable, and I think that division is actually up for grabs for 3 teams, being the Astros, the Angels, and the Rangers. I think the Mariners fall.
I was about to say, no mention of the Mariners? Miguel, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, the Mariners are good, obviously. I think that we are going to see a little drop in Cal Raleigh's performance. He's not going to be the same guy he was last year, but
he's not setting the record for catches per home run.
No, not again. But I think the Mariners will be good. It's going to be a tough race in the AL West, so I'm excited to see it. But hopefully the Rangers lock in for me.
Fingers crossed. We always want to see the Rangers do well, but there's a lot of season left, so we'll be talking about them a lot more on Sportszone. Sadly, this is the end of our show. Join Steven on Thursdays, me next Tuesday. We only have a couple shows left, so please follow us. Join the shows. Watch everything, please. And I'll see you next week.